Hello, welcome to gusmcdoll Strategy and Tactics, and thank you to our subscribers. In this series, we play through each of the battles in the American Grand Campaign in Close Combat 4, the Battle of the Bulge. We use historical World War II US Army doctrine to plan and conduct each battle. We start on the strategic map. It is 1600 hours on December 17, 1944, and the weather is foggy. US forces have no air support, no artillery, and no supply drops. In the last episode, US 14th Cavalry Group fought the German Kampfgruppe Piper from 1st Panzer Division. The result was a total American victory, and the German Kampfgruppe was forced to disband. The next battle is at Manschau between the US 424th Regimental Combat Team of the 106th Division and the German Kampfgruppe Knittel from 1st Panzer Division. Commander, we must hold Manschau because it is the last line of defence on the road to St Vith. The building in the centre of town is the best place to set up a defence. It has superior elevation which will allow you to see the enemy as they strike. On the US side is an American infantry battle group from the 424th Infantry Regiment under command of Captain Morgan. It moves slowly and reserves are full. The company consists of 3 platoons. 1st and 2nd platoons are infantry platoons. 3rd platoon is a support platoon consisting of 2 anti-tank guns, a mortar and a medium machine gun. The original squads from the first battle retain their names and statistics. Let's rename the new squad off camera for ease of reference. Now, let's review each of the squads. 1-1 is 1st Platoon Headquarters. 2-1 is 2nd Platoon Headquarters. 3-1 is 3rd Platoon Headquarters. 2-2 is a BAR squad. 1-2 is a BAR squad. 2-3 is a rifle squad. 1-3 is a rifle squad. 2-4 is a recon squad. 3-3 is a 57mm anti-tank gun. 3-2 is another 57mm anti-tank gun. 3-4 is an 81mm mortar. 3-5 is a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. 1-5 is also a Browning 30 caliber medium machine gun. 1-4 is an M9 bazooka team. And 2-5 is also an M9 bazooka team. Next, let's look at the map and conduct a commander's estimate of the situation. Our mission is to delay the hostile column from Kampfgruppe Knittel, because Manschau is the last line of defence on the road to St Vith. The village of Manschau is a linear urban area that sits on a crossroads. The roads lead east to Udenbrecht, north to Balgnäs, and west to St Vith. North of the main Udenbrecht-St Vith road and west of the crossroad is a forested hill. To the south, past a line of buildings, a large defile or area of low ground. East of the crossroads are village buildings and farm fields. While the roads have long sight lines, observation is generally broken up by buildings, the woods and the low ground. A number of 2- and 3-story buildings offer better observation, but fields of fire are generally limited. The village buildings offer both cover and concealment. The low ground to the south offers concealment to any troops in the defile. The wooded hill provides concealment, but little cover. There are no major obstacles in the area, although the village buildings tend to channel vehicle movement along the roads, and the forest would slow down vehicle movement. The crossroads is the key terrain in the area because it allows movement through to St Vith, although it does not confer any tactical advantage on its own. Some of the village buildings offer tactical advantage because of their location and fields of fire, as well as cover and concealment. Unsurprisingly, the roads are the obvious avenues of approach in either direction. The Germans are approaching the village from the east, and their force composition is unknown. They are likely to attack up the road and through the village from the southeast. The Germans could lead with their infantry, clearing the village building by building. Their armour could be kept in reserve, to the rear and behind buildings, but ready to pop out and reinforce the infantry as required. Or they could lead with their vehicles, using tanks to aggressively smash through the American positions and dominate terrain, with the infantry following and mopping up remaining pockets of resistance. The optimal killing zone would be the area around the crossroads, engaging any vehicles emerging from the cover of the buildings into the open. Alternatively, the Germans could swing around to the right and attack from the northeast. The armour could form a support fire line, firing over the open fields from a distance to suppress any defenders. The infantry could then advance to take the isolated farmhouses. Then they could seize the woods. Finally, the armour could move to the second support by fire position, and the infantry could fall on the village buildings along the road. The optimal killing zone would be the open ground north of the village. The Americans would seek to place the anti-tank guns from the 3rd Platoon to the north, to permit flanking fire on approaching tanks. One option for the Americans is to place 1st Platoon along the road to St Vith. They would deliver echeloned fire to any Germans seeking to use the road. The rifle squad would be furthest to the east, followed by the BAR squad, the bazooka, and the Browning medium machine gun. 2nd Platoon would be in a blocking position around the crossroads. They would prevent German infantry from moving up to the crossroads, and they could counterattack to retake the village. This plan is sound, but has 2 risks. First, 2nd Platoon would be in the impact area for fire from the anti-tank guns, which is poor geometry. Also, it would leave 2nd Platoon in a messy and avoidable knife fight with infantry supported by armour. They are likely to take unnecessary casualties. An alternative option for the Americans is to keep the anti-tank guns from 3rd Platoon in the northern position and 1st Platoon echeloned to the west. But 2nd Platoon would stay in reserve, in the defilated dead ground to the south of the road. When the time was right, in other words when enemy armour was defeated, 2nd Platoon would conduct a counterattack on the village. This plan has the same defensive advantages as the first plan, but exposes friendly troops to less enemy fire and thus fewer casualties. I have made my decision and have placed the platoons and squads in position. First platoon echeloned along the road to St Vith. Second platoon in defilade in the low ground to the south. And third platoon to the north, in positions which permit flanking fire on approaching tanks. And so we begin. Plenty of armour. The anti-tank car is immobilised. and destroyed, the crew all seriously injured. The Germans are using their armour to press forward aggressively. The combination of half-tracks, armoured cars, and Sturmgeschütz suggests this is an armoured reconnaissance company. Another vehicle immobilised and destroyed, a Sonderkraftfahrzeug 250-10 with a 3.7cm gun. The other vehicle is a Sonderkraftfahrzeug 232 with a 2cm gun. For now, it is staying outside the line of fire. Sturmgeschütz destroyed. Sonderkraftfahrzeug 232 destroyed. This flanking fire from the 57mm anti-tank guns is very effective, just as Doctrine recommends. The medium machine gun gets a bead on advancing infantry. Kommandowagen Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251 destroyed, again with a flanking shot. This is a platoon commander vehicle. A Puma 5cm is next. The American 81mm mortar targets infantry in the open. The German Aufklärer, or Scout Squad, is destroyed. .35, the Browning Squad, has taken a casualty, and crew is knocked unconscious. A German mortar is targeting the 57mm anti-tank gun on the road to Bagnez. The Sturmgeschütz cooks off. The Germans still have at least one half-track, one armoured car and one Sturmgeschütz, plus a mortar. The Kommandowagen pushes forward. Time for recon squad in 2nd platoon to probe forward. First platoon opens up on a Panzer track in the open. These squads pose a real threat to the anti-tank guns, as we found out in Echternach. The Sturmgeschütz is moving up. The anti-tank gun holds fire.
Team redeployed!
Hit and destroyed by 3-2 Blackwell's gun. First platoon and the medium machine gun in 3rd platoon re-engaged German infantry. The Panzerschreck squad is destroyed, and the threat to the anti-tank guns eliminated. Second platoon's recon squad pushes forward. Scenting blood, the rest of 2nd platoon follows. The counterattack begins. (3-4) Abernathy's mortar squad targets the Sonderkraftfahrzeug. A lucky shot into its unprotected top could well destroy it. Okay, that was very unexpected. A German airstrike kills Vasquez from 1st Platoon's rifle squad. That was the first German airstrike of the campaign. The mortar runs out of ammunition. A German vehicle crew is knocked out.
Feigling!
Second platoon pushes up.
Team redeployed. In position.
The Germans still have armoured vehicles on the road to Udenbrecht. The mortar starts to lay a smoke screen to screen second platoon's movement.
Move completed. Enemy spotted.
The Panzer Schreck squad is eliminated. But the Sonderkofferzeug fires through the smoke screen, killing Picard from the recon squad.
Move completed. Team redeployed. In position. Move completed. In position. Enemy spotted. Enemy spotted.
Major American victory. The battle ended because time ran out. Both sides still control some victory locations. The Americans won the battle because they control a greater number of crucial victory locations than the Germans. The Americans took 3 killed and 2 wounded. These are light casualties in view of the effect on the enemy. The Germans took 9 killed, 15 wounded, 2 tanks destroyed, and 5 armoured vehicles destroyed. And their advances halted. Let's examine the American squads. Vasquez from 1-3 was killed in the German airstrike. He was the only casualty from 1st Platoon. Sergeant Overall, platoon commander of 2nd Platoon, was killed leading the final attack. Jensen was wounded. And Picard killed. Williams, on the 57mm anti-tank gun, knocks out a tank and 2 armoured cars and is awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge. Emmons is also credited with a tank kill. Freeman, on the 2nd 57mm anti-tank gun, knocks out a vehicle, shares credit with Biggs for a tank kill, and is awarded the Combat Infantryman's Badge. Gibson is also credited with a vehicle kill. Crew on the machine gun is seriously wounded. 3rd Platoon's only casualty. So far, the campaign remains a major American victory. The Grand Campaign has 15 days remaining. Your defence of the Ardennes is progressing better than your historical counterparts. But you can see the Bulge forming in American lines as the Germans start a single encirclement of Bastogne from the north. Over the campaign, cumulative American losses are 126 killed in action, 122 wounded in action, 5 tanks, 1 vehicle, and 10 guns. Cumulative German losses are 258 killed, 211 wounded, 29 tanks, and 20 vehicles. So, what did we learn? 2 key lessons stand out. First, the importance of selecting a killing zone and concentrating all fire into that zone. For anti-tank guns, Doctrine recommends positions which permit flanking fire on approaching tanks as most desirable. In this battle, flanking fire into the killing zone resulted in the Germans losing 7 vehicles, and the infantry not progressing beyond the crossroads. Second, the attack from 2nd Platoon was going well, until they bunched up in the building on the outskirts of the village. Then they suffered 3 casualties and did not advance further. The push further into the village should have started earlier, and been slower and more deliberate, with squads providing suppressing fire on nearby buildings while other squads moved, and the bazooka ambushing German vehicles. In this way, they could have retaken the road to Udenbrecht objective. Maybe next time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. And stay tuned for the next episode.